There should be no greater honour than representing your country. Putting on the Three Lions shirt or whichever country you're from should be the absolute dream, being recognised as one of the best players from your country. However, the honour of playing for England doesn't seem to be what it used to be. Gone are the days when playing for England was the pinnacle of a man's career, so much so that players will actually turn down an international call-up nowadays, be it in favour of playing with their club, injuries or whatever other reason they can come up with. Here are 6 players who turned down England call-ups. First up, we've got Danny Drinkwater. The most recent England call-up projector, Danny Drinkwater denied Gareth Southgate's call to link up with the squad for friendlies against Germany and Brazil. The Chelsea midfielder cited a lack of fitness as the reason he refused to link up with the England squad. Southgate called up the midfielder after a host of withdrawals from the squad, but Drinkwater didn't think he'd be able to do himself justice due to his lack of fitness. Not the worst England rejection ever, but can Danny Drinkwater really afford to turn down an international call-up? He's hardly pushing to be a Three Lions regular. Will it affect his World Cup chances? Probably not, because I doubt he'd make the squad anyway. Next up, it's Micah Richards. In 2012, Manchester City lifted the Premier League title, with Micah Richards being an integral part of the side's defence. Earlier in the year, Fabio Capello left his job as England manager, meaning they needed a new boss to take over the side before Euro 2012, and that man was Roy Hodgson. The now Crystal Palace boss named his squad, but there was no sign of Micah Richards, who was snubbed by the owl-faced boss. A list of standby options were also named, but again Richards didn't feature, with the defender refusing to be a backup option for Hodgson, meaning Martin Kelly got his slot on standby. England didn't win Euro 2012 and Richards never played for his country again. Up next, it's Dyer. Yes, the man who captained England against Germany has also turned down his country in the past, but in fairness to the Tottenham man, it was just an under-21 call-up he rejected, back when Southgate was actually in charge of the side. Dyer had recently returned to England by joining Tottenham from Sporting, with Pochettino deploying his new signing at right back early on. Dyer was concerned with his slow progress in the Premier League and wanted to remain and work with Spurs rather than play for the England under-21 side. Southgate accepted Dyer's decision and it worked out best for all parties in the end, with Dyer now an England regular under Southgate. Next up, we've got Tom Ince. While Dyer's under-21 rejection worked out for the Tottenham man, the same can't be said for Tom Ince. Southgate's under-21 side was set to compete at the European Championships in 2015, with Tom Ince having been a key player during the qualifying campaign. However, the son of Paul Ince decided he didn't want to actually play at the tournament or be considered for the under-21s at all anymore, instead wanted to focus on his club career as he looked to sort out his future. Ince joined Derby County permanently that summer and has never worn the Three Lions jersey ever since. The midfielder's club career has been up and down ever since, although he's now a Premier League player with Huddersfield Town, so he probably wasn't far off a call-up this time round with all the withdrawals. Up next, it's Paul Scholes. One of England's biggest failures was the treatment of Paul Scholes, especially once Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard emerged as Sven-Goran Eriksson's first choice centre mids. Scholes retired from international duty in 2004 to focus on his Manchester United career, where he was much more valued by Sir Alex Ferguson. However, there was almost an England return for Scholes in 2010, with Fabio Capello calling up the ginger midfielder to see if he would go back on his retirement and represent his country at the World Cup in South Africa. Scholes would knock back postman Pat's offer, later stating that if he'd been asked earlier by Capello, then he would probably have accepted the invitation, suggesting he made a mistake by turning down the chance to represent England at another World Cup. And finally, we've got Wayne Rooney. The Everton man is England's all-time leading goalscorer, most capped outfield player and former captain, but he too has turned down an England call, very recently in fact. Rooney had been dropped initially by Gareth Southgate, casting doubt over his England future, but Rooney's start of life back at Everton made the England boss rethink, as he looked set to bring back the forward for the international games in September. Instead though, Rooney would pass on Southgate's offer and chose to hang up his international boots permanently, deciding to focus all of his efforts on his return to Goodison Park. Obviously Gareth Southgate is a very easy man to say no to, because 4 of these 6 players rejected him. So those are 6 players who rejected England call-ups. Let us know of any more in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.